Today, we are celebrating the ISSA Honorary Lifetime Achievement Award, one of the highest distinctions in the cleaning industry. Now, this honor recognizes one individual whose vision, dedication, and leadership have advanced both ISSA and the entire Jansan community over decades of service. And with more than 50 years in the industry, today's guest built a company into one of the most respected names in distribution. Who are we talking about? Let's find out.
Okay.
I am pleased to welcome Charles Wax, the former president and CEO of Waxy Sanitary Supply. Charles, welcome to the program.
Well, thank you, Jeff. It's great to be here.
We're here to talk about your journey, how you got to where you are now, just to get to know you a little bit. So let's start with this question. Just tell us about yourself, maybe a snapshot of when you got into the industry, maybe your first job until now.
Well, I'm married for 53 years. I have two kids, two daughters. I have six grandchildren. I have one great grandchild and another great grandchild on the way due in January. So our family is growing and doing well. And my wife, Randy, and my kids, they were very good because they knew that I was working hard to build up the business, and they were very supportive and very encouraging so that and they understood when we were had to work hard and go away, and when we bought a business and be away for a couple weeks to go integrate it and convince the people why this was going to be a good opportunity for them. And then my brother David worked in the business with me as well, and he has two children and four grandchildren as well. Uh, I first came into the business. My dad would take me when I was starting when I was 12 years old. In the summers, he would drag me down to the office. They gave me the most mundane jobs to do of anything, like put stickers on boxes or sweep the floors, not doing much of anything, but working in the warehouse. We'd go down there early in the morning because my dad was an early riser. And so we'd get there at 7 or 7:30 early in the morning, sometimes 6:30. We'd get there and he would tell the warehouse manager, keep him busy, give him some stuff to do. And that's what I did. But over the next couple summers, they let me load trucks and make sure we did the right process and the right procedure to get the right merchandise on the product so it'd get to the customer the right way. I rode with truck drivers. I learned how to receive. So I did a lot of the warehouse functions, put stuff away. And at that time, we were down on 110 G Street. And then, so I did that most of the summers. And then as I got older and became one of those teenage kids, during the summers, I'd work again, but this time they had me work in the customer service area and I'd help customers and help out in the summer when we tended to be the busiest and work on when customers would either I'd answer the phone and take orders, or we had a lot of walk-in business, a lot of walk-in business. It was almost 10% of our business. So it helped customers and make suggestions that helped them.
And then you became CEO at 21 or what?
No, 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 no. Got married, moved to San Francisco, and then came back into the business. My dad had a program that he had set up with Crown's Leatherback, which was one of our best all-time suppliers. And I worked for them for about 9 months in the San Francisco area and Portland. Got to meet a lot of the people, and that's where I first met John Garfinkel, of all people. So I worked there, and then when I came back, we were busy getting ready to install our first computer system. It was an IBM System 3 Model 10. We were the first one in San Diego to get this new system with a card system that would going to do all these wonderful things. And my dad had me help and get involved with that. So that was kind of my first experience learning or full-time work getting involved in the business.
Good story, Charles. And from there, here we are today. When you retired, you were the CEO and president?
Correct, correct.
Mm.
He appointed me to be the president 1986, but I was at my dad's side for all those years.
Mm.
He was one of the smartest, brightest guys in the industry, a real driver, somebody who probably was ahead of his time compared to a lot of the people who always wanted to get the most leading edge kind of not only in products, but in the way we did business. So he was always investing in new technology, big believer in that. And it was, we bought some businesses and I got to be very involved with that. But I did so many things. I worked in all the different departments of the business, and he was one of the most respected people. And
When you learned about this honor that you just received, what were you thinking? What does this mean to you personally and professionally?
I think it's a validation and recognition for all the hard work and for everything that we achieved in the business and our commitment to our business, to our people, to our customers, our suppliers. We wanted to be the best. And I think ISSA recognizing us as a great distributor or a great lifetime award, I think it's really a great honor for me and really for all the people that worked at Waxy. This honor isn't just for me, it's for everybody who's been associated with us because we couldn't have been there without everybody. And we're very indeed fortunate. We wanted to build a good business, a business that takes care of the customers. We wanted our business. We were so proud of the fact that we had people that worked up with us for years and years. They enjoyed coming to work. I loved coming to work. It was in my blood. We said the waxy blood, it's in the waxy blood kind of thing. And, we bleed waxy blood. We wanted to help our customers. We wanted our people to do well. We wanted them to grow and to be successful and to build good lives for themselves. And I feel like we were able to do that very, very successfully.
Now, the company's been successful. Your family's all been involved. What are some big changes that happened in recent years with the company?
Well, there's been lots of changes in the industry. Probably the biggest change has been all the consolidation, both the customers, the suppliers, and the distributors. And I'm not sure it's all good. I mean, unfortunately, Father Time has a way of marching on. And it would have been nice, if everybody in the business, if there's so many of us at our stage running businesses that, especially like at the group, my network peers, a lot of us probably would have liked to see the business continue. But as we get older, and unless your kids and really want to be involved, and they have they have the fire in the belly, and they have the knowledge and the ability to continue to grow. I'm not sure it's been good for the industry, all this consolidation, especially at the distributor level, but it is what it is. And uh, so I partnered with John Miller at North American Paper in 2020, right in the middle of COVID. We were able to do a transaction with a company called FEMSA. And so the vision was that we were going to uh, grow. The two of us were going to go together, that FEMSA was going to buy us. We were going to be on the board, be co-chairman for a period of time. We thought it was going to be a year, and we were going to grow. And FEMSA, one of the things that we were encouraged by them is they were basically had family ownership roots, and they talked about because they were in the beer distribution and manufacturing business and Coca-Cola business that they've been around over 100 years, and so we were really excited because we thought this would be a good long-term solution both for us, for the families, and also for our people. But 2 years later, they decided to get out of the business or sell most of the business. They sold it to Kelso and Brady. And so here we are. And now it's been announced that the Kelso Brady is merging with Imperial Dade. And so here goes another consolidation. So one big company.
Yeah, it'll be an interesting ride in years to come to see what else happens because you're right. It's consolidation has been the headliner for a while.
Right. And we've seen it with how many cleaning companies
Oh, it's everywhere.
consolidated. And how many manufacturers. There used to be so many paper companies, so many machine companies, so many chemical companies, and they keep buying each other up and they're merging.
Mhm.
It's just
It's not just
happening.
our industry either. I've had other conversations with others
Right.
outside. It's everywhere. So, but Charles, you can't control everything, but we can
Yeah.
definitely work with it
And
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 move
I don't think
forward.
and I don't know that it's so good for the industry because I think what built the industry was long-term relationships with our customers, service, knowing that our customers, they could count on us to get products to them when they needed it, get them new products that could help them. And I think now, I'm not sure that that kind of service is still out there with the big companies. So I think if the independents have a great opportunity now.
Good point. And those watching this program right now, maybe they'll pick up a few tips about customer service. Don't let go what has worked for so long, that
Right,
personal touch. Yeah.
right,
No matter how big your company is.
right.
So, Charles, since you're not at the helm of running the day-to-day of Waxy, what do you do with your time today?
Well, one of the things I've been busy doing is managing our 7 waxy buildings because we do lease them to the Brady Company, and some of them have multiple tenants. We just added 50,000 square feet to, in addition to our 100,000 feet in Mesa, Arizona. So we just finished that in the last 30 days. So we had to get a contractor and build that addition. Got it done really quickly in about 6 months once we started construction. But one thing that we were really proud of as a family and as a company is that we built beautiful buildings. We got many awards. We got LEED certified silver in our Phoenix and Salt Lake buildings that we built in 2010. But we always built buildings for the future with really efficient training rooms with all the latest audio visual. We built really high tall ceilings in the warehouse, over 30 feet or 35 feet, with narrow aisles so that we could store twice as much product in half the space. So that enabled us, maybe instead of having to build 400,000 feet, we could do it by building 200,000 feet because we only had to have, with narrow aisles, we had these turret trucks that could go down an aisle that was only 4.5 feet wide, and it would have electronics built into the concrete floor so that it was on it wasn't on a track, but it was wire guided in the concrete. So that turret truck could put a whole pallet of product away and go up 7 layers high. So that really enabled us to use technology to maximize our space in the warehouse. So and then our offices were always really nice areas, and we were proud. We wanted our customers to be proud to come to our facilities. My dad had a saying, and I think it's so true. So many times when a person would go into a janitorial supply warehouse, the warehouse needed their products more than their customers did. And he never wanted us to feel that way. So we always wanted to make sure that our facilities were state of the art and clean as can be. How are you going to sell cleaning supplies if you're not clean yourself?
Exactly. I understand that. So, you talked about your buildings, you talked about your family, your legacy. What do you do in your spare time now?
I like to play some golf. I travel a lot. I'm on a national security board, so I've been to the last few years. I've gone to Saudi Arabia for a week. I went with 10 retired admirals and generals. I just got back from Israel last week with a different group of retired admirals and generals. Went into Gaza, so it was quite an enlightening trip to go all over and see things. So we meet with all um, the the Israeli generals and admirals. Plus, we met with Bibi Netanyahu and the president of the country and the Mossad. It was quite, you learn a lot. You learn.
So, in addition to what we've talked about, how much has ISSA helped you in your journey? And who especially do you remember that were part of this journey for you?
Well, let's go back to the ISSA. One of the best things about the ISSA and both network services, is the relationships and the friendships that you build with people. Some of my best friends have come from the industry and the ISSA and network. I have very, very fond and deep relationships with a lot of people and a lot of people that have helped me along. There's been a lot who have helped me along the way. I just want to give a special shout out to John Swigert and Alan Tomlin and Jeff Roberts, because I believe that they're the ones that nominated me for this award, and I'm deeply appreciative of them for doing that. It means a lot to me, and there's so many people who've had an effect positively on me, who've helped me grow to what I was able to accomplish. And it starts with family and many of the key people throughout the years, so many suppliers, so many key people that I worked with.
I'd like to talk about this. I heard that you had a role in choosing ISSA leadership in the past. You mentioned you met John Garfinkel. Were you
Yes,
part of that, him coming in as executive director?
that was more my father. I was a little bit involved.
Okay.
I mean, as I said, I met John before my dad did. And so I liked and respected John a lot. And then he became the president of the Crown Zellerback, and then it became James River. Again, one of those consolidations.
Hmm.
So John was the key guy for us. And it was so funny when he was there, if we had a situation where we needed some help, maybe we couldn't get product or we needed a special deviation or something special, it was famous with us. We always said, well, just tell everybody that John said it was okay. And, and then we'd get it. So we had a great relationship with John. And then when John left the company and my dad learned that I believe it was Jack Romali was retiring, uh, Lou Gorland, I think, was the guy who was the ISSA president way back then. And he called, so my dad called Lou and Lou said, Lou, I got a guy I think that might be really good at this and suggested John. And John got selected. And as I said, the rest is history. So we've maintained a good relationship over 50 years. John's a great guy, and we've always had a lot of respect for him.
What not everyone knows is that he called me in 2016 and asked me to come on board in media.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
So we're connected now.
yeah, I mean, he was reaching out. He was helping to grow the organization, and it
Uh-huh.
did very well under his leadership. And then John Barrett and now Kim Altoff. So,
Right.
yeah, yeah,
A lot of
good
changes there
memories.
too. Yep.
So, any regrets or things you wish you had done differently over the years because here you are, you received this award, but anything you could think you'd like to go back and do differently?
Nothing that I want to say publicly. But there's always regrets. Boy, I'd have to think about that one.
Yeah.
I mean, there's always things that you could have done maybe differently, like when we tried to, make a decision either with a key person or maybe we were looking at a business or a supplier thing, and maybe we should have been more flexible. Maybe we should have been more firm. We But no, I think I look at the overall very very happy and very pleased and very proud of what we've done and I had a great team, great group of people that I work with. They're family. They're really family, and everybody was a part of it. We measured the success of the business by the success of the people. And so many of our people started at the lower levels and worked their way up. A lot of my key guys worked in the warehouse and worked their way up into sales or general management. My president, Jeff Roberts, Jim Fisher, Clint Hunter, all these guys that were key guys, Harry Babb, they all worked at lower levels and worked their way up. And it's really rewarding when you see your key people and the people you count on that they can take on more responsibility and help to grow the business.
Well said. Guess I just have one last point to bring up. If you wouldn't mind sharing some advice to the younger generation coming up who want to make a lasting impact and perhaps receive eventually the same honor that you received. If you had an opportunity to talk to them, what would you tell them, Charles?
Well, first you got to work hard. I was committed to working. We worked 6 days a week all the time. I mean, on Saturdays we would go in and work. That's when it was quiet and you can get a lot of things done. But you've got to be committed. You've got to work hard. You got to get to know all your people. You've got to come up with solutions for your customers. Everybody can come up with a lower price, but can you come up with a solution that saves them real money? We love selling value-added products. I wanted to have the best system so that if a customer called up, we knew how much inventory we had in stock. We knew where it was. We knew and how much in each location. We could tell you what row bin tier it was in the warehouse. We could allocate the inventory to a customer. We knew what their prices were. And if there was a price increase, we had an automatic system for that. We had a system that took care of deviation. So, because in this business, everybody gets a different price and has a different cost. So there's all these transactions, millions of them that are going on. So you really have to invest heavily in your systems and be really up to date with it. I always wanted to have the best equipment. We invested heavily in our business. We believed in training. I wanted our people to be the best trained. So when somebody came from Waxy, they knew, the customers knew that they were getting somebody who was trained and professional and knowledge and could help them. And we made a big point. We trained our customers, we trained our employees, especially our salespeople, to really be, to really be of a resource. And many of our salespeople have been with us for years and have made good money. And I think the business always has a great opportunity because our customers have so much turnover and the cleaning. And what we do is so important in the cleaning business. We affectionately call it the bull flushers, but when people get sick and there's problems or healthcare issues, we can really be of who do they look to when there's a real problem? And I can't tell you, I mean, it's legendary how many times we've had to make everybody who's good in this business has had to make rush orders and deliveries. And on Saturdays and Sundays, we deliver to a cruise ship. We got to get the product there on a Saturday or Sunday or we miss the boat. You can't have that. So everybody's got to be going and following your vision and knowing what you are trying to accomplish and knowing how important it is to take care of the customer. It's knowing how to, take care of your people. Those two are real are really important and reward and recognizing your people. People want to be recognized. And one of the things we did at Waxy is when people hit certain milestones, we would recognize them in a really meaningful way. We'd give them some nice gifts, but we asked them to give a little talk, or we'd ask them. And it was amazing to see people break down and get so emotional and talk about how their lives have been impacted by our company. Nothing was more rewarding to me than hearing the stories of how we helped people. Really very rewarding.